Meet the team that doesn't just talk about impact, they ignite it. Jim Morris and producer Rachel.
Is that, can you hear the clapping?
May, baby. May 1st.
Oh, Lord. Okay, wait. I have to ask you a question because, like, happy May 1st. Yesterday, the end of the month, is when I sent out invoices. And for some reason, and I'm getting better at this, I'm healing my relationship with this, but for some reason, I still feel like it's almost easier to press like go live than it is to press like send an invoice. And I know it's just like completing that loop, right? Like we have a contract, we have an obligation. I'm just completing the loop of that obligation. But for some reason, and I think it's like this old corporate mentality, because I worked for corporate media for forever. And so in that space, you're working for somebody else, you get your paycheck and you move on to your next day. When you own a business and you're sending out invoices, I just feel like it has this like different vibration around it. And I need your help to help me understand, like before I press send, should I say something to myself? Should I change the vibration around sending it? Because the value is there. I'm confident in the invoice. Like there's nothing around that I feel less than. It's just for some reason, like pressing, pay me now. It's like this weird space I'm in. And I've never been shorted. I've never had anybody. There was one time where somebody had a balance due, but like it was handled and we were fine. So I've never had anything negative around it. I also think I've held on to other people's stories of not getting paid maybe. Like I feel like there's this weird subconscious thing happening that I haven't really like dragged out of my brain yet to be like, but that's not me. I haven't had that experience. Why am I bringing that experience to my life? So I need your help, your guidance, your advice, because you've been doing this way longer than I have as a business owner. What am I doing wrong energetically or in my brain? Like, what am I not conceptualizing when I'm hitting send invoice? I don't understand why I feel this way.
What's the worry? Like, so is worry even the emotion? Is it fear? Is it anxiety? Like, what's the emotion?
I just want to make sure it gets paid. Like I don't want the follow-up of, hey, did you see the invoice? I think that bothers me more. And most people honestly will pay me right away. Like I think there was like one or two that I've been like, I've had to follow up with.
So
but I feel like just the worry is like, oh, they're not going to pay it.
Yeah. So you're creating the emotion of worry around a specific belief, because in my opinion, your emotions derive from your beliefs. So if your emotion is you're worried, what's the belief? The belief is actually they may not pay you if that's what's creating the worry. It may not have happened to you. You said you've heard stories like that has an effect on your energy, right? We talked yesterday about not engaging in a conversation that you're not aligned with and not having guilt. So I think, to engage in a conversation where someone shares that with you doesn't mean you need to absorb it and analyze it as if it's your own. I mean, ultimately, I really think that the belief could be maybe someone doesn't pay me on time, whether it's happened or not. But now we've got to figure out where that belief came from. Did it come from someone else? The other thing is if the follow-up is the low energy, I would automate the follow-up. So in GoHighLevel, you send out the invoice and you can literally have a trigger that goes out. If it's not paid or completed in 7 days, it automatically follows up. I like that because I don't want to nag, but I want to get paid, and you signed a contract and there's an agreement, and I believe in ethics, and ethics is why I'm an entrepreneur and why I didn't want to work for two other corporate companies, because they both were unethical. So for me, I don't want to get into that back and forth either, because it's low vibration, low energy, and I deliver. I fulfill my products or my services. I've never had a chargeback. Never had someone buy something and then try to fight it ever. So for me specifically, I think in those situations, you just got to analyze what's the actual part of it and not lump it all together? How can you break it up into pieces? So you're like, oh, it's fine. I want to write the scope of work. I want to make sure that everything's in there, all the details. So I don't want to automate that. That's great. You could also automate it. You could pull it from a specific section of your contract and have it flow in. But if you want to do that, so because that's your forward-facing activity to your clients, I would actually, and that gives you energy, right? Like you don't want to stress about it being wrong or messed up, and you really want to position the value of the service, then do that. Automate the follow-up, because the follow-up is the nagging. The follow-up is the confrontation. And I think maybe your belief is, I don't want confrontation. So maybe it gives you worry. Maybe it gives you anxiety that I'm now doing an activity that could turn into confrontation and turn into confrontation about money. So maybe there's a question to probe to you, producer Rachel, that says, has there been a situation where you've had to confront money, or have you witnessed? Here's the other thing, because everything you do has a positive or negative impact. So did you witness confrontation around money at some point that has now created a belief, which in turn, that belief has now created the emotion of worry or anxiety that you're feeling now?
Yes. So when I worked in corporate America, like it's so weird that you just said that, because I'm like, where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? When I worked in corporate media, the whole thing is sales, right? You're selling ad time. And I would hear salespeople complain because they work off of commission. And so they would say, like, this client hasn't paid. It's been 90 days, right? Like we're still giving them services, but they still haven't paid, and like they're usurping the system. And then also they would offer like more things to help the client, who then would take advantage of the situation. Does that make sense? So I feel like
Yep.
I have this perception of, and it's not that they were scamming the corporate media. They were utilizing as much as they could to get out of the company as much as they could. Does that make sense? When like you're dragging your feet on paying something because you're then going to be like, well, I don't feel like I got the value out of whatever it is. And then they offer more, which I thought was always dumb, to get to the next invoice. But yeah, no, oh my God, it's so weird that you just asked that. And like that just popped in my head immediately. I remember salespeople complaining of clients not paying on time. And these people worked off of commission. And it was like, well, if they're not paying the bill, then the salespeople aren't getting their commission either. And you know, these things take time, right? When it's in that loop of payment, it's not like they pay immediately. For my business, they do. Like within 30 days, generally, I'm getting paid, and that's in the contract. So that's not a big deal to me. But when it is in that corporate environment, it's generally like a 60 or 90 day payout. And it would just like, I would see the salespeople with that anxiety. Like I'm literally in that moment right now, like feeling their pain of they're not paying, but it's like a huge client that has the potential of, you know, paying their bills. They just don't. And then they'd have to have that confrontation of, hey, before we do another month, right? Like before we give you more ad time, this has to be paid. And so I don't think I've ever like realized that is like stuck in my subconscious. That is so crazy. Like I'm a little, wow.
Well, the thing too is like knowing you and knowing your values and knowing your personality. I feel obliged to say that this is one of the reasons why I love you, is because that pisses you off because someone else is getting taken advantage of. Someone else is fulfilling their duties at the level that's satisfactory, and they're getting fucked with. Like, you're a protector. You care about people. You want them to get what they deserve. That's admirable as a belief system, right? But I think the beauty in what we just uncovered in this scenario at 6 a.m. Central on Thursday, May 1st, bright and early, folks, let's get it. Rise and energize. What you just uncovered, though, is there's a little bit of trauma there from being a witness. It's not even your trauma, but just witnessing it, because what you witnessed about people you care about wasn't in alignment with your ethics, wasn't in alignment with how you believed that they should be treated. So it fucking pissed you off. and it gave you a micro level of trauma that you didn't even know about because it didn't affect your family's food. It affected that person's, but it was there, and now it's coming up later in a situation where this will, and here's the kicker, this will affect your family. This will affect your food. If what happens to you is what was happening to them. So identifying that, and I think releasing that, is going to be an amazing opportunity for you to regain some energy and automate it if needed. Like I don't really have trauma around it. Someone's not paid me before, but I've worked through it. I'm over it. So like I don't have the trauma of I don't think I'm not going to get paid when I send it. I actually do think everybody's going to pay me, but I don't want the conflict of follow-up. So I automate the follow-up. I write my invoice. If it's subscription based, it just automatically goes every month, and that's automated. But like most of the one-off stuff, or the, one invoice commitment or two invoice commitment, some of the smaller stuff, I'm automating that follow-up because it's not a good use of my time to say, where's my money? And it would upset me. Like, for me to have to go write an email, hey, you're 10 days overdue, you owe me 12 grand. That's not an energy gain for me. So let me automate it.
Love that. Okay. So that is sort of the two things that I'm going to switch. Number one, it's just simply saying, like, when I'm feeling the emotion of whatever, the negativity around sending it, I just simply say to myself, that's not my energy. Like that's a limiting belief that I created through watching someone else's trauma. So I feel like that's easy, where it's like, that has nothing to do with me. Like, this is a beautiful exchange of energy, and I can't wait for them to pay it. It'll be amazing to see it in my bank account.
It's not
So
your
I think
story.
it's not my story. Exactly. Like, I've even been doing this lately with stuff. Like, it's not mine. It's not mine. Like, not my monkeys, not my circus. Sorry.
Go brush those shoulders off, producer Rachel.
Dude, it works though. It's the weirdest thing where I'm just like, it's not mine. It's not mine. But then also automating the follow-up, because if that is where like the other energy drain is, I think that that's just such a simple thing to do, is just automate the follow-up, and I don't have to be involved. So I think it's important today to really kind of see where those energy drains are for you guys, whether it's around money, are these beliefs that you've created around someone else's trauma, and sort of ask yourself the question. All he did was literally simply ask me the question, okay, where do you think that came from? That I've never asked myself before. Right? I never stopped to think, like, why do I feel this way? It's just stop and ask yourself. If you are feeling an emotion, if you're feeling something that just doesn't align with you, ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? And then really dig a little bit deeper. Is this your trauma? Is this something around somebody else? And if it's not yours, just brush it off. That is not mine. That is not mine. And then automate follow-ups. I think that's a great idea, especially if that is where like the sticky point is, because it's confrontational. I think a lot of us just don't want that confrontation. And I know the value is there. I've never had the issue, but like, again, there's something in the back of my subconscious that I latched onto someone else's trauma, but it's not mine. We do talk about a lot of this in the impact effect community. Jim mentioned GoHighLevel. So we may have to curate a training around this for me. I love that our community and the way that we were leading it allows us to pivot, allows us to create training for people that need it, because in this moment or in this conversation, they're saying it's something that they want to know more about. And like, literally, Jim was like, well, maybe we create a training around this. So I was like, yeah, maybe we do. Why not? And then I don't know, can you tell everybody that if you join the impacteffectcommunity.com, what do they get for free with it? You want to talk about GoHighLevel like really quickly, just to end it?
Yeah. So if you join Impact Effect Community, we onboard you. We send you an assessment to understand your learning style. We ask you about your challenges. What do we need to work on immediately? What's something that could be coming up in the future? So we really want to analyze our members and understand how we can show up and provide the best level of positive impact for you as soon as possible. Right? Like, the whole point of a back and forth relationship with the founders of the community, producer Rachel, myself, but also the members, And that level of access is that we can solve problems in real time. And one of the biggest problems we've seen in a lot of businesses is they've got multiple tools and they have a tech stack. What's a tech stack? 10, 12, 15 different apps, different logins, that all these types of things reduce efficiency within business. So we wanted to provide a system, GoHighLevel, that has all of these things within one, so you can learn the system, learn the functionality, and spend your time in one place, but accomplish all these other things to increase efficiency and effectiveness within your business, as well as have synergy amongst other members, right? So there is resources and there is conversations that can happen around a specific system. That system, GoHighLevel, is a customer relationship management software. It allows you to create and manage pipelines, communications, emails, SMS, texts. You can build websites, landing pages, funnels. You can send out payment links. You can automate emails. You can automate your invoice follow-ups. You can set triggers to remind people if, you've sent them an email, they didn't answer. You can follow up with a text for an SMS, because as you know about producer Rachel, some people could be terrible with email. This guy. So an SMS text would be that direct level of communication. You can do so many things with inside GoHighLevel. You can create calendars like Calendly, and you can just reduce so many expenses. So not only can you save yourself some money, but you're now utilizing a system that multiple members utilize, and it's all in one place. So we give that to members when you join as part of the membership, and we help you onboard it, and we answer questions around it. And in this case, we'll create a training around this topic of automating invoices within GoHighLevel. One, because producer Rachel needs it, but also two, because I'm sure some other folks who are listening to this in the community right now probably see an opportunity to do something similar. So we want to provide that solution. We want to be a resource to that solution. We want to create dialogue and have discussions around those types of solutions. And that's what we provide in the Impact Effect community. We're not the people that are just throwing you in a networking group. We want to provide education. We want to discuss philosophy around your ideas. We want to leverage as many resources as possible. And we want to have a back and forth relationship where we can impact you positively, but you can also bring something to the membership as well. Step into your power and your purpose and provide a positive impact in addition to receiving it. And I think that's just such an important thing to recognize and realize, that give to get mentality and that communal opportunity to create positive impact for everybody involved. So I'm just so excited about our community, and I'm so excited about the members and the trainings. And, we've got a big day today. We're doing the, outbound social media growth plan. We're talking about now money and recapping a previous training so we can dive into details with certain members. We've got co-creation hours this week. We've got our momentum hour this week. We've got webinar workshop to webinars, step 2 in a 6-step process. It's just so much amazing stuff going on. I'm fired up.
Well, and you get out of it what you put into it, which is what Jim is saying. So if you're interested in making a positive impact, not just on other people, but on yourself, like go to impacteffectcommunity.com. If you've been thinking about it, just go to the link, fill out all the things, and then go from there. And you will get a phone call from the both of us. All right.
Let's go. I hope to talk to you soon.
Go. I know. Have an amazing Thursday, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. Bye.